First of all, let's welcome Mr. Pranil from the Thematic one.
Thank you, Joel. Yeah. Since it has to be summarized, so many points. First of all, I want to thank both my groups just now for wonderful points. You guys came from diverse organizations, national, subnational, as well as international just now. So thank you very much. So I'll start my presentation with challenges actually. So some of the challenges that we actually mapped and highlight was the time spent by the NGO leaders in finding and hunting for funds rather than looking after the empowerment work and so on. So that's number one. Number two, actually the limited knowledge as well as about funding, as well as the training availability. Dan juga, and also limited expertise in actually applying for funds and so on. Number three is really lacking of recognition. They are actually, in terms of, if you look at outside Klang Valley organizations, so they are actually less recognition given in terms of funding. And number four is actually too many actors in similar roles. So NGOs are actually playing similar roles. Too many NGOs playing similar roles in similar solutions actually, so which can be combined. And then after that is actually CSR as an excuse by the corporates to actually go for cheaper solutions and so on. Okay, and then human resource is our biggest challenge as well. And then accreditation has become, apart from it becoming advantage, is also become a burden to some of the upcoming SEs mainly, where a singular model accreditation doesn't fit to all the dynamic work that we do, as well as GLC dominance in business. I think SEs are also facing this problem when we have GLC dominance in businesses in Malaysia. I think this is coming from KRI study as well. So these are the few challenges that we are facing. Okay. Then let me go into actions. Okay. Measurement standards are needed. There are too many measurement tools that have been used by too many funders. So standard measurement tools are needed. Mapping of impact organizations is key. If I remember, SE was mapped many years ago when Magic was here. After that, there is no SE mapping report came out from KUSKOP. So mapping of impact organizations is key as well. And capacity building for government agencies in managing and also working together with non-profit or NGOs and also SEs. So it's key actually how we run capacity building for government agencies to work together for third sector. Scoring mechanism for social enterprises as well as NGOs so that we can differentiate who are doing noble work and who are not, okay, who are using NGOs as a profit-making money organizations and so on. We also have to learn other country model in terms of our development, such as Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia, and so on. And then we also must have a progressive funding. So funding now is actually staggered. So which means once the funding is over, the effort, the longevity, as well as the people who actually worked on the impact all disappeared and gone. So funding has to be progressive. Okay. Also, government must open access to susuk, SRI as well, green susuk, SRI susuk, in terms of impact funding for the upskilling organizations. Endowment funding is something which which we learned from Singapore, Thematic Foundation. We can have endowment funding to actually fund social capitals as well as invest capitals as well. And then impact-based government procurements. Okay, government procurements can be, we haven't got the model yet, government procurement into SC, quota and so on. So impact-based government procurement is also a method. And remote work empowerment, I think that's also something that we can look into. Other than that, we also have to enable regional agencies to look into investments into small organizations like NCER, ECER. Their investments can look into impact organizations such as NGOs and SCs. So apart from that, I think that's on the major ones. In terms of partners, we are looking at government agencies, definitely, KUSKOP, other ministries, okay, Perkeso and so on, HRDC and so on. Other than that, corporate companies, okay. But key is the Securities Commission as a key partner in terms of driving MNCs and GLCs in supporting the NGOs. Other than that, Bursa Malaysia is also a key partner in driving listed companies to actually support our initiative. And then impact foundations as well as private sector. Okay, so also a key. Okay, that's on the partners. There are also other lot of partners. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, so lastly on the outcomes, I just list down about 3. There are a lot there. Very sorry, maybe you can later on look at it. Okay, tax exemptions are the key actually. Okay, so because we have even projects where we need to pay service tax to the organizations. Okay, so something that government can look into in terms of empowering the role of third sector. SC and cooperative empowerments, also a key actually in terms of the outcome that we are looking at. We have to give importance to cooperatives that works for communities and so on. Other than that, a national business ecosystem, okay, needs to be strengthened as well. Okay, so I think that's all from our group 1 in strengthening the third sector in terms of capacity building as well as investment. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. And Dr. Lorani, thank you so much. Let's give yourself a clap and also Dr. Lorani.
Thank you, Zoel. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your tea. So Mr. Parnir has covered quite a number that the other group on the same topic has discussed. Just to recap, we discussed on capacity building and financial resources as investment, not grants. Okay, I'm just going to read from here. All right, so for this group, we actually started with outcomes, so I'm going to just go through the outcomes first, and then from that outcomes, we look at the challenges, actions, and partners. So the outcomes is actually telling with the topic that we were supposed to discuss, that is stronger capacity in social economy as the outcomes of the capacity building and financial resources as investments, and also the higher resilience in finance. Other than that, the other 2 outcomes that we discussed, that is regeneration, not just sustaining, but beyond sustaining, we need to regenerate socially or environmentally. And then the last part, the outcomes, is the youth development, engagement of the young people towards the whole, for this theme. The challenges, number 1, not in order of priority, societal views that NGO can run under voluntary will. So that's a lot of expectation. I don't know about the rest of you, but there is expectation that we could continue to volunteer while there are basic needs of the volunteers. When we talk about climate change, SDGs and all that, companies, government are pressing towards all the targets, right, within the 17 goals. And many of the NGOs are actually pressed with the expectation to meet up that engagement of the third sector while they are actually not provided, or for startup, have to figure out how to generate income so that they can sustain the needs of all the team members. So that's a key point that we agree together, and that social enterprise is not equal to NGO. So that's, and then there is also reluctance from big players to collaborate with startup agencies that we observe. Financial literacy is another challenge because some of the startup members are work in progress, recruiting more competent, sustainable skilled staff, and that is also a challenge. Also, there's a challenge in reducing the gap between different backgrounds of people that are involved. Example, we were discussing about corporate and maybe people from remote areas that have slightly different life exposure and education background. Corporate policy, another challenge. Actions, reviewing tax exemption, Mr. Parnir has mentioned this area. Create platform for sustainability for capacity building. Sometimes we face the systemic challenges of selection, so programs that can actually create a social enterprise network, maybe social enterprise association, whether established or startup that can help from, can learn from one another, where that comes to the partners, where the established players in the third sector can actually give guidance or mentorship to the smaller ones, or those that are still progressing in their aspired social enterprise. Leave no one behind is something we wrote there, and all equal, but some are more equal than others, the experience of many. So other partners, Mr. Parnir has done a great job in your group, I mean, to outline those, but one that we want to highlight is the involvement of the primary and secondary schools. And our group for the outcomes, we also put their regeneration. So we would like to see that the younger generation is going to continue, not to sustain, but to regenerate, right? So in order for us to reach that, then there is a need for people like us involved with ESD, Education for Sustainable Development, to be involved in the whole picture of third sector. 1 minute left. I think I can do that. Okay. And then, of course, the foundations and, of course, APPGM SDG has done a good job. We all are happy to connect with you as partners. And I mentioned about the Security Commission. Agree with you. Bursa Saham, their role in SDG 16. And all in all, good governance, SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institution, top down, bottom up, the heart, the compassion, and all that will come together from the young age. And outcomes I have shared with you. Let me see if okay, there's another one about actions that I missed out. Character building and coaching for young ones, we said that. And we also talk a lot about the gap, even with big companies and the stakeholders, the community, there's always a gap of understanding and sustainability competency. Oh, that's, time's out. Oh, 0 now. Okay, on time. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you very much. So what the secretariat do is we have to do the recording and then we will transcribe it, and later on we can actually take up the point. But what we can see that youth are being quite important in this process. And another thing is someone actually shared me this for mentioned about Security Commission. There is a social let me see the correct name. It's called Social Exchange Platform from the Security Commission. So perhaps you can read more about this. It has been launched 1 month ago, more or less. All right. Thank you very much for Group 1, and thank you for everyone who have contributed to the Group 1. Give yourself a clap. And now, without further ado, we are going to Group 2. I think Group 2 is very interesting for the organization and also perhaps for the change maker yourself also. How to enhance visibility. Let's welcome Dr. Ken. Yeah. Oh, okay, you do say, okay. Let's welcome Nolina. Thank you.
Thanks, Zoel. Okay, firstly, thanks to all who came to contribute to the group. So the topic I had was to moderate was increasing visibility for the third sector. Challenges, very interesting because they were like from different perspectives. The first one is low interest from the media outlets out there because no news value, and also because the brand, okay, like social enterprises are not a big brand, okay, and then we also have free riders. They want to look good, so they just want to partner with social enterprises, or they themselves want to be social enterprises to apply for grants just to get visibility. But when it comes to the real work, they actually cannot perform. So that was really interesting. And also, social enterprises, because they are a small team and also budget constraints, resources constraints, they are focusing on doing the work, their business, as well as to conduct the social impact projects. So they don't have time to work on marketing and promotional activities. Action-wise, basically, integrated platform where everything is in a one-stop center, one place, instead of different ministries having different, like for example, if MEDAC, all the social enterprises are there, but if you want to look for other stuff, you have to go to the other portals by under different organizations, associations, or ministries. What else? Hang on. Okay, so skills as well. In terms of capacity building, we spoke about training too, how to upskill in terms of not to be an influencer, but at least how to use digital marketing to promote the third sector. Partners, quite similar, public, private sectors, ministries. We had the SC as well. Another one that I would like to add is AVPN, Asian Venture Philanthropic Network, that's based in Singapore, and international fundraising platforms for basically for financial. And the outcome we have, I'll touch a few. Basically, once we have greater visibility, sales will increase, beneficiaries will increase, as well as team members and volunteers. Business sustainability, when there's a high brand visibility, business will sustain, trust will be built, and accountability and integrity, that was also another point that we had. Thank you.
Concise. All right. Thank you. And Dr. Ken, over to you. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Zoel, and thanks, everyone. At the outside, please let me thank the team and everyone who contributed very valuable inputs. I learned a lot. My field is not social entrepreneurship, but I learned many things. Number one. Number two, I think we have a very big challenge in defining, it only occurred in my mind when we were discussing in the two discussions, is that the third sector is a big sector. There are NGOs, there are cooperatives, there are CSOs, so some are involve profit, some don't involve profit, some involve money, monetary incentives, some are services based, some are product based. So I think we have a whole spectrum of very different organizations. But let me just say and share what was compiled in our group. So there are 4 challenges, action, who, the parties involved, and also the outcome. I have 4 for each, so just let me share. So one challenge is, of course, I think Mr. Panya mentioned that earlier, is saturation. Saturation in the sense that there are many NGOs or groups which deal in the same area, for example, number one. Number two, there is also a challenge in reaching out or to gain visibility among the vernacular audiences. So maybe people who don't only speak English and Malay, but may include Mandarin, Tamil, and also other languages. So number three, then there is also actually a very fundamental, and I think it made me reflect, and also I think we can all reflect on this, is when we speak about the third sector, not many people know what the third sector is. We use it very generally and broadly, but what is the third sector? So not many people know. If we say an NGO, then people more or less get an idea what an NGO is. That's number three. Number four, there are also, in terms of getting visibility, you're competing in a very crowded field in the sense that there are some areas which gain more priority or more visibility than others. For example, maybe people who are more interested in food security than refugees, for example, because there is a background and a context to that. So that's on challenges. Number two, in terms of action, many have shared a few points and recommendations. Number one, they feel that in terms of visibility, to facilitate this, you need a centralized agency. Number one. Number two, you need also partnerships. Number three, and I think this is also very interesting and important, there must be good storytelling. One of the ways to increase visibility is to have a good story to tell, but also, and tied to this, is data collection, because why? In order to tell a good story, you must have good materials and good data. So that's number four. And then, of course, somebody mentioned, and I think this is also important, in terms of visibility, visibility emerges when you have transparency. People would like to know where did the money come from, what the money was spent for, and what was the money used for, and who were the beneficiaries. Right, so who, I don't have to spend too much time on this, I think. I think many of us share the same thoughts. They range broadly from the public to the private. They are government, they are agencies, United Nations, then they are institutions, and then of course they are CSO and NGOs. So let me end with four more under outcomes. Number one is, one of the outcomes that was proffered and suggested was that when we take or implement all those actions and there's more visibility, then you'll get more buy-in and so attract groups from the global stage. So many will be more inclined to participate, to join venture, to invest, or to share grants. Number two is to allow better interventions also. When there's better visibility, then you understand what the project is about and you understand where these different projects take place. So they allow for other groups to also come in, to also either be part of the initiative, or also to contribute, for example, but also by the government. And then number three, this will also allow better visibility and implementation of those actions will also allow sustainability and also allow better delivery of services and products. And the last one is one of our members, and I think a few, actually not only one, suggested that in terms of how we measure the outcome, maybe we should not only measure profit and also material terms only. So somebody mentioned the SROI, is that correct? Social return of investment, right? So not only in terms of quantity and also the profit, but also in terms of the social impact that it has on society. So with that, I hope I have done justice to all the members. Actually, the discussion was very good. I think I didn't capture it all properly, but I would like to thank them again, and I hope it was beneficial for everyone. Thank you so much. Pass it back to Zoe.
Thank you, Dr. Ken. Always very gentle, right? Still single and available. sorry on that. I'm not sure whether available. But it's a very interesting discussion. Thank you, Norina, and also Dr. Ken. But one thing I find in this discussion, from my observation, is wonderful. But I'm not sure whether you have the same feeling like me. We are the mover on the ground. We're demanding quite a lot from ourselves. We have to be data, we have to impact evaluate, we have to build the trust, etc. But surprisingly, I didn't see that we are leveraging on the mainstream media, leveraging on the social media, leveraging on others. Perhaps there is also a way that we can look into that, all right? Okay, but awesome, we captured that point. Okay, so next we have the third group. There is a group to discuss how to generate money, right? And interestingly, this group is introducing intergeneration empowerment. The two moderators, Mr. James and Dr. Lin, is empowering another two young ladies, Felicia and Annabelle, to do the presentation. Let's welcome them. Oh, your staff, outstanding. All right, you need to put that up. Let my team to help you. Okay, thank you. You got 3 papers, no problem. You have 10 minutes. You have combined time. Okay. Let our team to help you. All right. When you're ready, give them 10 minutes. They are combining. Yeah, give them 10 minutes. They are combining. All right, you may go whenever you're ready.
Oh, yeah, 3, right?
Thank you. One from private sector, one from the CSO.
Okay, so. Oh, right. I'm so shaking. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So Felicia here from Uji Fashion Sdn Bhd from the industry. I'm from Sungai Petani, Kedah. So today I'm privileged to have the presentation here with all of you. So now we are talking about the role of companies in inclusive businesses. So we will start by sharing the talks. So Annabelle will start with the challenges.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Annabella. It's actually my first day ever in APPGM, and I don't know why I'm chosen to share, but yeah, bear with me if I... Okay, yeah. All right, I'll start with the challenges. We're combining 3 rounds of discussions. So I'll start with the challenges first. These are the gaps that we see in between formal economy and social economy. So in this group, our group members first said that corporates' assumption that social impact products are seen as cheap. For example, one of our group members, they produce upcycling products. So there's a misconception that corporate assumption of social impact products being cheap, or it's seen as charity. And there's a constant competition with mass-produced products. There's difficulty getting funding from corporates, lack of clear road mapping and policy from the government. mismatch of CSOs and corporates in public sector, and established CSOs lack social media presence and public visibility. Okay, so for the round 2, here are some other challenges, which is to review LHDN policy in waiving of taxes for NGOs, CSO fallout of the LHDN category, mostly depending on charity, definitions of organizations restricting entrepreneurial activities, industries are not inclusive enough to include neurodivergent individuals. One of our group members has shared based on their experience in their work. Lack of awareness of needs. Corporates, they actually don't know how to support marginalized communities, so there's a lack of awareness there. Lack of accessibility for people with disability in the workplace. Okay, this is from the 3rd round. More challenges. We will not repeat those that are already being said. Okay, difficult stakeholders. Expectation on getting the investment towards own organization is high. And organizations working in silo. Different outcome in terms of ethical governance when organization only, this is from, have certain goals that they aim for. Yeah. Yes, that's all for our challenges. So we'll move on to some actions.
So Felicia will continue in the actions. So from our discussion, right, so we think that it is important from the table, we think that it is important to have a directory of or a list of corporates or CSOs, whoever is working on the same page, on the same issues, so we know where to connect the people. And to have the awareness and advocacy or campaigns or workshops and networking activities like today, so where we are introduced to where and who and how we can work together, and also establish social media presence. So, for example, how I am introduced to the programs, because I saw on social media where I followed APPGM-SDG, and then I followed the social media, followed the SDG Info Zone. So from there, people who interested will get connected. Okay, and also we have to have verification of viable CSO as a reliable and impactful organizations where we know where things go and how things work. Okay, so and then for the next round we look into the social return on investment. Means we have to educate, or we have to teach, or we have to share how we have to look into that. When people want to do social activities, we started with a mind to do that, but we may not have education or knowledge or know how to do. So it is very important to share on that. And another one is the new act on the LHDM framework, where this is referring to the one that our members shared just now. It's referring to the LHDM policy in waiving the tax for the NGO. They refer to such as what we said just now is some company, when a company they supported the program and they are looking for the tax exemption. So this is what some of our members pointed that, asking to look into that. Okay, and also we need to have more awareness campaign about the needs in the society, where companies will know, what are the issues now in the community, in the market, or in the country, by region. Then where people who want to contribute will know, there is something they can do. Then people will get connected. And then, of course, collaborative programs with multi-stakeholders and through multi-industry. For example, maybe through skill training program, then we can link with the industry that producing certain products. So actually, we have to link different peoples across
cannot only solo. That is where I think we can really work something out when people with different expertise and different skills and different knowledge, bottom up, top down, then we can work together. And also, this is very important for matchmaking, for hiring and training and capacity building, because likewise, what we mentioned earlier, it is actually also all interlinked. If we, I have the skill, but I don't have the manpower. But you have the thousands of youth behind, and they need training. So we can work together. And through where? To the industry where people can get jobs. And then maybe through another ministry where the products can be sold. It's generating the economy and skill and all living skills. So another one, I'm back here. Okay, some of it is the same, so we will take just a few more. One more is a strong push through strong policy by government to do great implementation, where I think this is why we are here today. One of the things is being pushed through NGO or through private, public, CSOs, all kinds of ways we can work together. Okay, so, oh, I continue with partnership. Okay, never mind, we continue. Yeah. Oh, 1 minute left, okay. Okay, so I think partners is very fast, so who we can work together. In the front, we already briefed through. So all sectors, partners, governments, private, APPGM, SDG, governments, agencies, corporate, private, small, medium, micro, all can be linked together. Yeah, I think that covers everything. And of course, important is industry partners, where that is the generating income take place. Okay, then we pass back to income output.
Okay, since we are out of time, I just highlight a few outcomes. Okay, so the outcome that we want to see is, of course, successful matchmaking, a clear policy and framework from the government, increased survival of CSOs, verification based on SDG framework. Okay, how about here? Okay, the outcome is more inclusion, a win-win situation for all parties. And at the end of the day, we want to uplift the socio-economic status of underprivileged communities, and that businesses have better understanding on how to support social economy. And last but not least, understanding what these two terms mean, SBMC, SROI, understanding what it means for the government, what it means for private sectors, and what it means for NGOs and CSOs. Thank you.
Yeah, we have 30 seconds more. So the important outcome is to have successful matchmaking through programs like this. Okay, thank you.
Well done, awesome. I'm talking like Dato, you want to give it to me? Congratulations and welcome, Isabel. Very good, thank you very much. Successful networking. Just now I heard about speed dating. Someone is talking about speed dating through the program. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's true that we have a lot to do. Now we are going to the next group. But before going to the next group, I want to urge a little bit. Because we are going to the next group, and then Dr. Dennison, we're going to do the wrap up, and then it's actually done for today. Wow, it's almost finished already. Thank you so much. But I would like to slowly prepare you before we really end the sessions. We have so much to do. Maybe you found some meaning here or some hope for the futures. But when you continue listen to the group 4, I want to urge you and prompt you and encourage you to think about whether you want to be in one of the working group as well, to journey together. So this is what I always tell my team. Since very young, I learned this. I don't know whether it makes sense with you. I tell the team, don't mind to do more. Don't mind to do more. The reason being is, today, maybe this job is not belong to me, but I do. I get to connect with these two ladies, good ladies, resourceful ladies. If one day I leave the organization, do you think my boss can say, return me the network? Return me the contact? Delete the contact? I don't think so. The connection is already established, right? and if we go and help to solve some problem, the skill is yours, the experience is yours, the profile is yours. And I think what the platform is given to to the everyone here, it's really an opportunity to excel yourself in the national development. All right, so while we continue thinking, listening on it, at the end we'll do a call to actions, and let's think whether you may continue venture with us. It's totally voluntary, and then we see how we move forward. My STJ commitment, we will commit to journey this. All right, thank you very much. So now let's go to the thematic group 4. Who want to go first? Dr. Su is already here. So is it Dr. Su? Start first? 2 together. All right, let's welcome Dr. Su and our moderator. Yeah, let's give a clap. I have 2 mics. You want this to up? Okay, together, 10 minutes. This one we need to keep. This one we need to keep it. We need to capture it. And oh, this one.
Hello, hello.
So, good afternoon, everyone. So, for Group 4, we are doing the strengthening policy, legal, and governance framework for social economy through reviewing the policy, legislation, institutional mechanisms for effective implementations. We have a very robust discussion, but I think that, and also just to give just a context of it, our group, we have many from the ministries and many from the CSO and also the NGOs. Therefore, our discussion coming from a very multidimensional way of looking at the legislation, the governance, and also the legal perspective of things. So in terms of looking at the challenges, I think the fundamental challenges that we have is really to pin down what do we mean by social economy. If you look at our questions, it is really to look at social economy, but then a lot of the time our discussion will skew into talking about social enterprise. Two are very different concepts and also definitions. I think that is really underlying the challenges that we have. One of those is really the gap between the states' federal legislations. Again, if we're talking about social economy, there are gaps between them. One of it is really how is it that we translate what happened, the federal legislation to the states. What we know is that we do have a federal constitutions, but we also have the state legislations that sometimes can be different. And while the ministry can give advice to the states, but there are a lot of things that we cannot enforce. So that has already been a challenge in itself. Politics has always been very big white elephant in the room. We have been talking about how is it that bipartisanship is very important, but then to reach the bipartisanship has been a challenge. And we'll be talking about social economy, acknowledgement of the social ROI. I think some of you have already mentioned how is it that the measurement of SORI, we do have a mechanism and also a framework to measure ROI from the ministries, but there are no really fixed or a structural framework to measure the SORI, which is very important for the social economy and also for the NGO and CSO, because a lot of the time the profit itself is not tangible, it's not monetary. It can be some sort of empowerment, some sort of awareness, all that skills that they have be able to depart or embark on the people, but those cannot be measurable because we don't have a structural mechanism to do that. And what is, again, the definition, as I mentioned, legal framework that confine NGOs. So a lot of the time when we talk about NGOs, we talk about the process of pemutihan. if they should be registered, and oftentimes they are registered as ROS. Being an ROS, they have a limitations to be able to generate their own income. They cannot have a company by the side, which for the sole purpose of generating income into the ROS, that is illegal. They can be fined under the SPRM rules. So there's no mainstreams of this legislation in terms of what is ROS and the income generation. They can, of course, get in the charity, but we are talking about sustainability here for this CSO and NGOs. Do you have anything to add?
Hi everyone. I feel our topic could actually be one whole day worth of workshop. So I'll just repeat what the workshop title was. It was Strengthen Policy, Legal and Governance Frameworks for Social Economy through Reviewing Policies, Legislation and Institute Mechanisms for Effective Implementation. And then take a deep breath. So when we actually started this discussion with our groups, one of the things we actually asked them was to set the context, what do you define social economy as? And some of the feedback we got was that, number one, it's hard to define. That was the first thing that they said, it's hard to define. But then we narrowed it down. We were like, it's organizations that are, defined by purpose, whether it's measurable, social, environment, people, impact and value. That's something that they think the social economy is. So it's not necessarily, I think, regarding a type of registration you are, but more of what you're doing. And it has to benefit society and not necessarily be profit-oriented, but must have responsible business practices. So one of the questions that we were talking about and discussing when it comes to the challenges, the actions and all that. So for challenges, we were like, what are the barriers that makes it hard to operate or scale under the current policies? So some of the feedback we got was like, there's no standardized governance. That's first thing. Where's the framework? What are the legalities or the implementation? Also, there's a trust or credibility issue, which means that we need to think about more, how do we make it more accountable? And a lot of the time that people were saying that, social economy, the players in the social economy are all working in silos. So there's no database and they don't know who to go to whenever there's, for example, collaborations or incentives or funding. And also they were saying about the mindset of the people sometimes can be an issue where they're like, oh, if you're doing work for charity, then you should, why should you even be getting a salary, So that is one issue that they were saying even needs to be addressed. In terms of actions, we were like, okay, so what reforms, what systems, what capacity building is missing? And some of them were like, we need to create an independent body to oversee the social economy, something that will not be changing based on what politician or politics are involved and not by the change of the government, something independent of that. And then also making sure that whatever is implemented is accessible, whether it's through digitalization, financing, training. So that means we're not only thinking about the social economy players that are in big cities, but something that can be translated even to the grassroots. So everyone is involved. Otherwise, it's going to be the same thing where people are working in silos again. For partnerships, we looked at government, corporate, the third sector, state and local and academia. So for government, the roles that they were saying is, policy, data integration and incentives. For corporate, we were saying grants, procurement, CSV or CSR. For the third sector, to be in charge of implementation, on-the-ground data and feedback. For state and local, this is where local adaptation and inclusion is so key and necessary. While for academia, it's to be the roles of evidence, policy advice, and impact metrics. And then for the outcomes, we asked them, what would Malaysia look like in 2030? So in 5 years' time, if all of this was done, what would it look like? So they said that, there will be economic benefits, upliftment of the status of social economy, more foreign investment would come in, the sector would be more well paid as well, increased efficiency where the sector is more organized, structured, higher levels of professionalism, less scandals, auditing with proven results, and of course, inclusion. Communities are included through co-creation, not just on the receiving end. So that was something that we discussed.
Right. Just to maybe add on to what our groups has also discussed as well, creating an independent body is also something that echo in my group. But more importantly, we do want to have like a centralized kind of a body or entity within the ministries that actually looking at the third sector. One of the members or in the group actually mentioned that we should actually looking at the sector as an industry, because from the government perspective, it is assumed that if we look at the third sector as an industry, that the government will invest money into it because it seems to be able to generate more income. So that actually put the third sector into the map of the government development, economic development plan. And at the same time, I'm glad that actually the group actually say a lot about the partnerships and very clearly define what is supposed to be played. But from our group, we also think that there should be a centralized kind of collaboration or an entity. I want to say Jawatan Kuasa is really not so much of a Jawatan Kuasa, but maybe like a place that where all the ministries will come together, where the people can go to if you're talking about grant applications or fund getting or any kind of a support and systems, they can go to just one place, and not to say that if you're talking about enterprise, should they go to Kuskop, Kasuma, or any kind of ministries, related ministry, and they go merry-go-round kind of a situation. I think in terms of the outcomes, I think our group sort of echo the outcomes over here. That's the paper, actually. I think so. I think we have covered most. We also should have like a customized funding mechanism that it can have that kind of proactive kind of a funding. I lost that one. If any one of you want to chip in on that. More importantly, also, when you're talking about social economy, we are actually giving a lot of supports for these players, but there is no clear exit plan for them. So what if we can have like a database to see the performance of these social economic industries, that we can actually identify who can further get the funding because it's effective, who can actually be the good performance one, and then we identify those and we can invest on those as well. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much.